Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drusilla Shay, if you don't know already. And today I'm going to be taking out my passion twist. Now, I did a video not too long ago showing you guys how my first go at passion twist went. It was a struggle, not even gonna lie, but it's definitely lasted me a while. Today, I want us to talk about natural hair or cultural hairstyles in professional settings. Clearly, I'm not going to be able to talk about everything in this one video, but I definitely wanted to touch on some points and make this an open conversation. So definitely feel free to leave your comments down below. I don't want to be having this conversation by myself. We're about to get started, but before we do, you already know I have to ask this favor from you. Please go ahead and hit that red subscribe button, and also please turn on your bell notification button so that when I post, you will always be up to date. Normally this is when I would get started, but I want to say one more thing. I'm wearing this shirt called Minding My Black Owned Business. I got this from a small Black owned business that a girl from my high school actually started. Her brand is called Shop Chantal, and I really like a lot of her merch, so I'm gonna leave her info down below in the description box. Go ahead and check her out. And now we can get started. So the first topic I wanted to touch on was touching of hair. How do I feel about people touching my hair? Who can touch it, if anyone? When it comes to touching of my hair or anyone's hair, honestly, it's such a sensitive thing. Some people are just way too free with approaching someone and touching their hair. I think it's just so much more of a sensitive topic for people of color. So generally, I don't like a lot of people touch my hair. Like, there are very specific people that I allow to touch my hair. Even like in a work setting, I do have work friends. For some people, I won't even blink if they come up to me and, you know, touch my hair without asking me. But there are some other people who come up to me and have touched my hair before in a professional setting. And the first time it happened, I'm gonna be really honest with you, I was shook. I was just like, I did not welcome you into this vicinity. I didn't open the door for you. I didn't say you could come in. But at the same time, I was also really young and I didn't really know how to approach that situation, because I also didn't want to come off as like the confrontational type. So I didn't say anything, but I was bothered by it, and I was just so shocked that the woman felt so comfortable doing that. Eventually, I found a respectful way to say it. I just feel like if you're unsure about whether you can touch someone's hair, like if they're gonna feel uncomfortable or comfortable with it, just ask them. Like, just say, can I touch your hair? I've done that so many times. Like, can I touch your hair? Am I allowed to? Because I know that it's such a sensitive thing. When it comes to like my close friends, when it comes to my family, most of the time they could touch my hair and I really wouldn't even like blink. If we're just connected in the professional world and that's it, like if we don't talk much, there needs to be that boundary where, you know, you can't just go and touch someone's crown, you know, you can't do that. And this actually reminds me of this video I did when I was really early in my YouTube game. It was called Natural Hair Etiquette 101, and it was just like a few scenarios that I've actually encountered just to pretty much point out some of the things that are not acceptable for most people, especially most Black and brown people, when it comes to like interacting with their natural hair. So the next thing I want to cover is, do I ever feel nervous about wearing a new hairstyle when I'm at a job or when I was in an internship? I definitely have. I love to switch up my styles. Weaves, wigs, braids, twists, cornrows, like you name it. But I really only feel comfortable showing it off, I guess, or presenting it around people who understand me and understand this whole idea of like switching up your hair and, you know, the versatility of natural hair. And the reason why I say that is because I, in the past, have experienced this where, you know, just doing me naturally, switching up my hairstyle, people have made a scene over it, like, oh, she has a new hairstyle again. And it sometimes goes from trying to flatter the person to actually making them feel uncomfortable. Like, it's one thing if you give a nice compliment like, oh, Drew, I like your new hairstyle, whatever. It's another thing if you're like, you know, making it known to the whole world, like, oh, she has a new hairstyle, and then now everyone's turning their heads, and then now it's just like, all right, like, you just need to chill. Depending on the setting that I'm in will also determine like how comfortable normally I am with the new hairstyle, and also depends on the hairstyle, right? Like, you have women who go to salons and ask, can I have like work appropriate hairstyles? And a lot of them are, you know, straight or loose waves. To me, it's just like, but why can't like really tight curls be a work appropriate thing? I mean, I understand when you start wearing like really loud colors in a corporate setting or something like that, but if it's just like really kinky hair or natural hair or really tight curls or twists, I don't know why that's not necessarily a work appropriate hairstyle compared to like the straight hairstyles. But honestly, I've had hairstyles where I've been a little bit nervous to walk into jobs. Like the one time when I had my gray faux locks, I was super nervous to wear it to work. I was even processing if I liked the style on myself in the first place. And second of all, like I clearly don't have natural gray hair, and it was a color I've just tried out. And honestly, it is kind of like a bold color to do when you're like super young too, because it's not that common to see. I was just really nervous, like, is this gonna be overwhelming for them? Like, are they gonna make a scene? Like, what's gonna happen? So I wore it to work, and you know what? People didn't make much of a scene. Like, they did compliment it and were just like, oh, that's like a unique look. At the end of the day, I've always been blessed to be in like internships and jobs and positions where I am more free to wear these kinds of hairstyles. But I know that a lot of women and even men, like men who have a little bit of a fro or whatever, who grow their hair out more, like I know that there are still so many people out there that are in positions where they still do not feel free to switch up their hairstyles. They still don't feel free to wear even their natural hair or anything because of the kind of professional setting that they're in. I've watched a few like documentary style videos on this very topic, and there are people, even like actresses, for example, people in other positions where they have to try out for things, they won't rock certain styles because they feel like they are going to get discriminated against because of those cultural hairstyles. You'll be surprised, and there's a whole act based off of this very thing, which I'll get to. So the next question I want to ask is, what are the most interesting experiences you guys have had in a professional setting? And obviously, like, y'all can't talk to me back and forth like this, but I'll tell you guys mine, and I would love to hear yours. Something that some woman said to me one day when she realized that I would keep coming in with new hairstyles like every few weeks is, this woman was not of color. She said, "You must be part of the witness protection program because you're always switching your look." I really didn't think it was a funny joke. So here's the thing about black hair that I really love. It has the ability to like shapeshift and transform overnight. It's incredible the things that this hair can do, the styles that this hair can hold. I mean, it is wild, and I love it so much. That woman who made that comment was not used to hair changing that much. For her, it was more of not really knowing and understanding black hair and how much, you know, you can do with it. And so that's why sometimes too, I also give people, I don't want to say passes, but like I see why they would make a comment like that sometimes. By the way, this was the same woman who touched my hair without asking me the first time. Clearly, if you're not too knowledgeable about the topic of black hair, you're probably going to say something that could be offensive. I just wish people would try to educate themselves more, whether it be through the internet or, you know, really respectfully asking someone who is more knowledgeable about the subject. If you're unsure about natural hair or the questions you should ask about natural hair or how you can interact with that person's natural hair, watch my natural hair etiquette video or DM me on Instagram, okay? I'll help you out. One time I was in a very professional setting, and this woman complimented me on my hair. She said, "I like your hair." And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, okay, great. You like my hair? Yes, thank you. But then she was just like, you know, I like it way better than all the other styles. Mind you, this hair that I had was long, straight. Now, all these other hairstyles that she didn't like were curly, kinky. And I'm like, okay, so you really didn't have to add the second part of that comment. Like, you could have just stopped at, "I like your hair." You know, you just don't go that much further. Okay, The Bible says don't keep talking. You're gonna lead yourself into sin, honey. Don't do it. And when it comes to asking girls about their natural hair, like, just try to be a little bit more sensitive. For example, it's one thing to ask, like, oh, how long did your hair take you? When did you get it done? What salon did you go to? Like, really general questions. When you start asking, like, do you wash your hair? Because yes, someone has asked me that before. You want to make sure when you ask these things, you don't do it in front of a crowd. You don't make a scene out of it. Don't ask in front of the whole office if I wash my hair. I'm sorry, that's unacceptable. Like, why would you ask that? Because if I say no, the whole office is gonna look at me. Sis, even if you asked that, like, in a private setting, I would have, like, helped you out. But, like, you gonna ask in front of everybody? You better stop while you ahead. It's perfectly fine to have questions about natural hair, but just also watch the way you ask it and the setting in which you ask it. If you're really, really unsure, pull them aside and be like, I really have this question about your hair. I really don't want to come off offensive. Please tell me if I'm coming off offensively because I'm not too well educated on this topic. But blah, 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 blah. You know, I feel like that's a much better way to do it than to just say whatever you want, ask whatever you want in front of anyone, and then cause someone to be, like, embarrassed or cause someone to be really uncomfortable. Like, I know someone who, she said that in a few of the meetings that she's been in, there's been time where her hair has been a topic of discussion for, like, the first 10-15 minutes of the meeting. Like, people, like, she gets a new style and, like, her co-workers are talking about it and, like, making a scene pretty much and, like, asking all these questions. It's not like she invited you to have this conversation. You just it's not like she was like, what do you guys think about my hair? Like, you guys just took it upon yourself to make her hair the main topic of discussion in the beginning of the meeting. Like, how do you not see that as uncomfortable? So the next thing I want to ask is, are we really surprised with how people who are not of color interact with us about natural hair? Some people say we shouldn't be surprised, we should expect it, but sometimes I honestly am surprised because in this day and age we have social media, we have Google, we have, like, all these things at our disposal that even if you live in a small town with barely anyone of color, I feel like you should still know a little bit of something. Honestly, I've had experiences where I've had my hair this short, like my natural hair this short, how it is, you know, usually a little longer than chin length, and the next day I've come in with long hair, whether that be long twists, long braids, long weaves. And I'm telling you guys, unless I'm doing like a short curly weave wig or something, I like long hair. I've had instances where I wear my hair like this, then suddenly my hair is like down to here, and people are like, oh my goodness, your hair grew. What? I cannot lie about this. I'm so dead serious. This happens to me about like twice. And I'm like, this can't be real, right? Except it is. The only thing that can accomplish that is prayer and fasting. There's absolutely no way that I can put something in my hair and grow it to that extent over. Like, you just saw me yesterday. Do you believe what you're saying? I'm really not trying to be harsh. Some people just need to be exposed more, you know, to cultures that are not their own. I'm not saying you can know everything about every culture, but just like, you know, try to interact with other people more, or try to learn more about other people. I feel like it's good to be more well-rounded. So about this Crown Act. The Crown Act stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. I believe it was introduced last year, if I'm not mistaken, in 2019. It's a very, very recent act that was passed in California. That was the first state in the United States to pass it. What it is a law that prohibits discrimination against anyone based off of their like natural hair or their cultural hairstyles. Kids were being kicked out of school or class because their natural hair or their cultural hairstyle was considered distracting and inappropriate. And because of that, they weren't allowed to come back to class until they changed their style. And this isn't only like in schools, this has happened at work. This woman has gotten a job offer. I believe that she had like locks in her hair, and the stipulation that they added to the job offer was that she had to get rid of her locks. And when she refused, they rescinded the job offer. And it's like, my cousin once told me that when she moved to a specific state in the United States, I won't say where, but someone told her that she was bold for wearing her natural hair. And she was like, bold? And it made her realize that the hair that naturally grows out of your head in a lot of places and to a lot of people are not accepted. Apparently, certain hairstyles have limited people from getting job offers, from getting promotions, from getting raises, and that's a really serious thing. Ta-da! Almost done. But yeah, guys, I want to mention something really important about the Crown Act. Right now, there are efforts to try and get this passed throughout the whole of the United States. I can't remember if New York has also passed it. Right now, they're taking petitions. I want to encourage you all to also sign the petition. I will leave the link down below. All right, guys, I am done. I feel free indeed. Jesus Christ has set me free. On another note, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so that I know that you like this kind of content. Please, pretty please, leave your feedback down below. I want you guys to answer the same questions I did. I want you to weigh in on the same topics I did. Again, I will leave the details on the Crown Act and signing the petition down below in the description box. Please do not forget to subscribe before you leave. Turn on your bell notifications so that you're never going to be out of the loop. On top of that, be sure to subscribe to my blog, JusillaShay.com, and also do not forget to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. All right, guys, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.